Hello YouTube, this is the second vlog, just seeing how the leatherwork's going. It's going pretty well, I'm quite enjoying it. Finding leatherwork completely different to textile work and sewing and stuff, because when you like making a quilt or a tent or something, if you want you can plough through it. There's nothing stopping you, so you don't have to wait for anything. You can just plough through the whole project if you want, or you can stop and start. I tend to plough through it because once I start I want to finish it. But leatherwork's the opposite. You have to stop and start all the time. So in between stuff, you're waiting for dye to dry, or oils to dry, or glue to dry, or beeswax and stuff like that to be sorted out. So you kind of got to do a bit and then leave it and do a bit and leave it and do a bit. So it's quite weird. So one piece takes a really long time to make. But you can work on several pieces at once, so I think that's the trick to getting a lot of stuff out. So I'll show you what I've been doing. So first one was this one. I'll show you on here. This was, they call them a biker's wallet. It's quite a thick, well, fairly chunky, fairly thick. Let's see. Leather wallet, so it's in veg tan leather, really good quality leather. I've dyed it all, cut all the carvings in, and you can see all the carving. It's all in sort of 3D, and then specifically dyed different bits, and that was the first time for me trying that out. That works really well. Got snappers, so I found a source for the good quality solid brass snaps, so now to do those now. Got another source for little brass fittings, so this is just a little hook. Let's see. And then inside, done all the inserts. This is all hand dyed. All the stitching's done by hand. And an owl, so it's not pricking fork, it's an owl, which is a lot harder to do, but I just wanted to do a 2 or 3 mil from the edge, which is really tricky. So I've had a go at that, and that's worked out pretty well. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 layers here, plus 5 layers plus the other one. So normally that'd be really thick, but there's techniques you can use to keep it nice and thin all the way along. So basically these have got like cutouts inside, so you end up with only sort of 2 layers at the edge. So obviously you can put all your cards in there and stuff. This will last forever. This is just so solid. It's 1.5 mil leather on the inside and 2 mil leather for the outside, because you need a bit of depth for the carving and things like that. This is for a friend who's in the British Royal Legion veteran bikers. So it's for him, and that's their logo, the lion. So yeah, hopefully you'll like that. And then this is a bit different. This is obviously for the notes, but it's like you can see with the light on it. It's like a lifted slot, so it's attached to the bottom but not at the edges. So you can put all your money in there without it being too constraining. There's pocket at the back, pocket at the back. So yeah, I designed it, did it, worked it all out, and then made it, and yeah, it went not too bad. It's really hard work. It's all finished with oils and beeswax and all sorts of things to protect it. So yeah, it will last a long time. There's also a brass chain that's coming with a hook on your belt, but it's not here yet. So that's that. Then the next thing I was making, I'm going to make loads of these if anybody wants them, for different people and things like that. Yeah, it's like a biker's belt, but basically I got a source for these things on eBay, the buckles, and there's loads of them, so you can pick your own buckle. And then what I've done is I put screw back rivets in, solid brass, so you can just unscrew it yourself and just change the buckle to whatever you want. So if you want to change buckles, get bored of the one you got, put a different one on, you can just put that on. These are really nice. These are heavy duty solid ones. Yeah, and all the edges are rounded and burnished, which you don't get on a lot of commercial buckles. This is 3.5 mil shoulder veg tan full grain leather, so this is the best quality leather for belts anyway. It's nice and smooth on the back. Finished it with beeswax and oils, so some of the belts will be super shiny, that's because they got kind of a plastic coating, but this is more matte, sort of non-shiny, because it's got beeswax and oils in it, so as a result it's really soft, really comfortable. And then I just did a hand-stitched keeper for the flying end, so that's never going to fail. Nice and strong again. Yeah, and they're really nice belts. Turned out really good, so I'm happy with that. So you got all the holes, things like that, normal stuff. So that's the belts I'm going to do. Now I'm making a few of these for friends and for gifts and things like that, because they're really quick and easy to make. The leather itself's quite expensive and the fittings are really expensive. But they don't take long to make, so that's quite good. Doing a brown and a black one. So that's the leather belts. So that's the two things I've been working on at the moment. I'm going to make a lot more belts for different people, and I've got a lot of stuff now. I've got all the camping gear stuff that I make, and now I'm starting to do all the leather stuff that I'm making. So all of the posts on all the groups and Facebook and forums and stuff is getting quite complicated. It's getting quite busy. So what I've done is I've created a Facebook page just for tap blades, and that'll be everything I make I will put on there. Not necessarily for sale, but I'll put on there, and then I can use that to link to all the other groups. It's just a lot easier and saves a lot of hassle, and it's all in one place. If you are interested in anything, just give me a shout and we'll talk about it and see if I got time to do it, and whether it's something that you really want and it's local and stuff like that. But it's not really for sale, it's just for a collection place for all the goods. Eventually, this is my retirement plan. When I retire, I'll go to full production and just make stuff commercially, just as a hobby for retirement. But at the moment it's just for gifts and odd people who want stuff. I'll make stuff, but not really for a business at all. In terms of tools and stuff, things have expanded quite a lot. So I've got a lot of punches and dies and things like that now for tooling the leather. So you can do all the patterns on the belts if you want. Using this for the glue, really good. Contact adhesive in the UK, obviously. Really easy to work with, doesn't drip, and really good to use. Imported this from the States. Snow Seal, really good beeswax product. You heat it up, put it on the leather, heat it up, makes it pretty much waterproof. So that's quite nice. Neats for oil, decanting everything into little jars. So I'm saving little jars for everything now. So this is the Neats for oil that I use. You can get it in tack shops for horses and stuff, and it puts oil back into the leather once you've tooled and dyed it, because it dries out quite a lot. So that's for that. I'm using this a hell of a lot. Now in the UK you can get this everywhere, in supermarkets and everywhere you go. It's made of beeswax and oils. It's a soft cream, and it really does a good job finishing the leather actually. So if you put this on after you've buffed and dyed it, no dye will ever come off on you. It does give it, it's not waterproof, but it does give it a high level of water resistance. So that's really good stuff. I'm going to use this more and more. Use it on the edges to slick the edges, everything. And it's quite cheap and you don't use a lot. So just put it on, buff it off, job done. If you want to restore any leather or clean any leather, this stuff's great as well. So look out for that if you want to clean any leather or look after any leather. White spirits. And then in terms of tools, I started to build up a collection now, so I've got everything I need. So kind of stuff you're starting to use loads of sandpaper, a lot of brass fittings, so I've got a lot of these things for hooks, for wallets and belt loops and stuff like that. Brass, antiqued brass fittings for loops, screwing in loops. sand brown studs. These are good instead of poppers. These are the rivets you can buy. These are the poppers. These are the solid brass poppers, really good quality ones. Chains and stuff like that. Let's put that down. And then starting to, burnish has been working really well, so that's fine. Got a pair of dividers. Got loads of these now. Kind of worked out I needed them. Some are second hand, some are new. Just hole punches for all the different holes for the stuff that I make and use. Now, I had one of these, and this is the mega cheap Chinese 5-in-1 tool, and you got like an edge groover and all that kind of stuff. It didn't really work very well because these holes aren't lined up, you can see. All offset, so it didn't work very well, but it does work as an edger very well. So it's only very cheap, so as an edger, got to sharpen that, but yeah, as an edger it works excellent, so that's good for an edger. And I got fed up of changing it all the time, so I bought one of these, which is a bit more expensive. This is just a dedicated groover tool, and the groover's on the arm rather than in the middle, and this works much better. So yeah, I much prefer this style to the other one. So look out for that if you want a decent groover rather than a cheaper one. And I didn't realise, I was using a scalpel a lot, but it's a bit whippy. But Swan, the scalpel company, do like a heavy duty one. And they got heavy duty thick blades as well. And these work really well, super sharp. So I've been using that quite a bit. That works really well for even for edge skiving and cutting leather and stuff. These are the dies and tools for the rivets. Oh, I got myself a decent hammer, one of these nylon ones, mainly for tooling, for doing all the designs in the leather. They work really well. It's the right weight and the shape of it's good, and you can roll stuff to flatten edges and stuff. Really like those. That's worked well. Oh, something that I really like. Hang on. Yeah. So doing the edges, what you do, let's say on the belt, a bit of scrap. So it's raw when you finish dyeing it and things like that. So all you do is take the edges off, and then you wet it with water, and then you rub it to make it all smooth. But it works much better if you put some on there before you burnishing it. I'm using this stuff, saddle soap. It's a glycerin soap, and a little bit of that on the edge with the water smooths it right down really fast. So it saves a lot of time and you get a better edge on it. So yeah, using a lot of glycerin soap. And I've gone to tiger thread, the Ritz tiger thread now, and it's much better. I really like this thread. It's all pre-waxed and everything, so it just sews really nice, hand sewing and things like that. Using one of these at the moment for smoothing down the stitching. Once you've done stitching, you need to kind of smooth it down. That works really well for that. You can use a hammer, obviously. Yeah, and that's about it, I think. So, getting there. So I think I've got most of the tools now to make most things, which is nice. You might need odd snaps or rivets that I don't have. I want to play around with copper rivets as well because they look pretty good. Might try copper rivets on a belt or something. But yeah, I think I've got most things now to do what I want. So it's just a case of getting the leather in and doing the designs that I want to do and practice the techniques I want to try out. So yeah, leatherwork going well. As I do stuff, I'll do some videos of me making stuff so you can see how I'm going about it and things. And all the groups on Facebook especially are really useful, and leatherworker.net is really useful for helping out if you're stuck or you don't know what to do, or the best oils or waxes to use for certain products, and then yeah, they're really good for that. So so that's where we are in the journey of leatherworking. Seems to be pretty not too bad to take up. It's a bit time consuming, but you get lots of breaks between each bit of the work, so it works out pretty nice. I'm quite enjoying it at the moment, and I'll show you when I'm making the next. Maybe I'll make another belt, and I'll show you exactly how I'm making the belt, and then you'll see how to do it, and maybe have a go yourself. Okay, thanks a lot. Cheers, bye.